Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown,
This is Alpha.
and this is The Art of Letting Go.
Letting go. Letting go. 2019.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. New year, new episode.
What's am?
Not too much. I really just wanted to catch up on just where we at. You know, it's been a minute since we've recorded. It's been about 3 weeks maybe. And, you know, a lot has happened within that time.
Yeah.
Would you like to share where you at?
Right. Yeah, man. So I am. Well, now I can talk about it. I've been kind of mentioning it a lot on the show. So I am a father to be.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that, man. It feels good to be able to announce it.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely want to get through certain parts of the pregnancy before we came out with it. So we're in the last trimester now. We're doing March.
That's what's up.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's a baby girl. And so it's really just that alone is pushing me to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just to get a lot of stuff done. It's like a motivational kind of thing for me as well. So I'm really just using all of that good energy and that good juju to just work and to keep moving and to keep progressing in the way that I want to. So a lot of you all don't know, but you know, when I found out we were pregnant, I started working like 80 hours a week just to make some extra money just in case anything happened after the baby was born and, you know, wifey wanted to take some time off, we would have a little nest egg.
Yeah.
And so working crazy like that, I didn't realize how much it was draining me.
Yeah.
Like mentally, physically, emotionally, like spiritually, in every aspect. I was like, so last week I pretty much took the week off from both other jobs that I had.
That's what's up, man.
And I just feel refreshed. I feel free. I feel new. And so I'm just, my focus is back in alignment and where it should be. And I know in the last episode we talked about, you know, writing stuff out for the year and doing stuff. So I've been doing that. I'm not done with it because I didn't want to rush it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to plan for the entire year. But I'm almost done with that. So things are just moving in the right direction, man. Like,
that's what's up.
I'm looking forward to being a father. And I already feel the connection. You know what I'm saying? Like I know a lot of times they say that the father doesn't always feel the connection until the baby's born and they can see her. But whenever I put my hand on her stomach, the baby kicks. Whenever I talk to the baby kicks. Or punches or whatever she's in there doing. So I just already feel that connection, man, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man, it's really amazing.
Being that this is your first child, is there any fear behind that?
Not really, man. Like I'm not really scared. Like I'm anxious.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to like mess up or nothing, but I don't even know what that means. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what does that even mean to mess up?
Yeah. And so with you saying that, because I've been thinking that too. I'm just gonna let whatever happens happen.
That's what's up.
And I'm just gonna grow in that moment, because that's what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like even through marriage, I've been married for 7 years.
Yeah.
And through marriage, I've been all right. Okay, I probably shouldn't do that again. Right. I probably shouldn't say that like that.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be the same experience with the little one. Like I'm gonna learn as I go. I mean, I'm the oldest of 10.
Yeah.
Or 11. So you know, I have some experience as far as having younger siblings. Of course, that's not like having a child, but you know, and I work in mental health. I work with kids. I deal with, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that I've been able to learn in doing what I do for a living, as well as just my upbringing, that I feel like has prepared me for fatherhood and just my excitement about being a father. Like I'm super excited about it, man.
That's what's up.
Super excited about it. So yeah, just really looking forward to it.
That's what's up.
And what you got? What's been going on with you, man? Excuse me for one second, time. But go ahead, do your thing. Talk.
December for me, definitely. December was definitely a learning month for me. It was long as fuck.
Yeah.
But I needed it to be, because I had a lot of preparation to do for this year and really for the rest of my life.
Nice.
You know, I had to come up with a plan of execution for everything that I'm a part of. You know, and I had to let go of a lot of shit in order to be where I am today.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of fear tied to just, you know, being an artist and what it looked like to me and all that kind of shit. And I'm really just allowing myself to be me and nothing more than that. You know, we had the bonfire right before New Year's.
Right.
And shout out to everybody that came.
Absolutely.
I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But it was really a beautiful experience to see so many people connect and, you know, to have put that together and for people to come, because I really didn't know what that looked like. I was scared because it was cold.
Right.
You know, I was like, damn, nobody's going to come because of the weather and shit like that. And people showed up. And people showed up during the daytime, and we had a beautiful fucking day.
It was a really nice day.
You know, so it really made me recognize whatever I'm feeling, whatever I want to do, just to follow that shit, follow through with it. And I see everything that I planned out for this year coming already.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I put a project out today, and it didn't require much thought of what it had to be or any of that, because, you know, like I said, I'm an artist, so I'm expressing myself.
Yeah.
And if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really don't give a fuck, because, and I was told that I curse a lot as well. But I'm very passionate.
Express yourself, brother.
And I'm trying to curse less.
Express yourself.
But I feel like I have to express myself in other ways and just my words, because sometimes my words don't connect in the way they're supposed to.
Right.
For me, I'm not smoking weed or drinking for 90 days. It's been up and down for me, you know, just to be honest. Some days I don't think about it at all. Some days it's all I think about.
Right.
But I have to show myself that commitment. You know, I recognize in my life that there have been times where I've lagged on things that I committed to or not put my best effort into them. And this is something that I'm doing for myself.
Yeah.
And pushing through those tough times is really what's showing me, like, you can accomplish anything that you want to do. And that's me talking to myself, you know, because sometimes my goals and my dreams, they look scary to me.
Yeah.
They used to. And now I recognize, like, I can accomplish anything that I want to because I created it here.
Right.
And once it's created here, it's going to create out there. You know what I mean? But I have to put forth the action for it.
Yeah.
So that's really been where I've been at.
Okay. What would you say, so, you know, like when we first started doing this over a year ago, we were both in a different place.
Yeah.
And how would you say that transformation, like, what would you say is different now? Because I know that, you know, you take a lot of notes and you do a lot of writing about where you are and you journal and different stuff like that. So how would you say you're transforming? Because everybody always talks about transforming in the new year and blah, blah, blah. But it's about continuing to edify yourself and do different things to witness your transformation. Yeah. So what would you say that you've noticed the most in this period of time versus like when we first started doing this?
I think the thing I've noticed the most about myself is the regaining of my confidence. Prior to doing this podcast, I felt like I was very fragile. But prior to being fragile, I was very confident. And maybe my confidence was a little more ego driven, but now I just feel just complete confidence with nothing else tied to it. No more confidence other than just simply being Mike Brown, you know, because there is no other Mike Brown out there, you know, except for my dad and a couple of others. But, you know, as far as me being me, there is no other me. And I've accepted that and I embrace it. You know, doing this podcast, shout out to everybody that listens to this podcast, watches this podcast, all that shit, because they definitely help me see who I am. You know, my friends, my family, everybody helps. But a lot of the people that listen to what we do and share how it helps them and how it affects them, that definitely pushed me to to want to walk in my light. You know, and I feel like I've always had like a Bruce Leroy glow on me.
Gotcha.
But I was Bruce Leroy. I was looking for the master, and not even realizing that the master was right here. You know, so I think the difference in when I first started this podcast to where I'm at today, I'm a lot more sure of myself.
Got you.
What would you say as far as yourself?
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that it was the same thing. Like I felt like I was super confident in myself before and sure of myself, and somewhere along the lines I lost it. Yeah. And I started to second guess and doubt everything pretty much. But you're right, like doing this podcast and getting with the different people and listening to their stories and them express themselves as far as guests are concerned on the podcast, and then just getting the follow back as far as what we talk about and different things like that. Just to hear that people are so interested in men sharing information, and then the fact that, you know, I start to look at myself through the eyes of other people, kind of like what you were saying. Yeah. Like, you know, I hear a lot like, man, you've been married for a minute. Like how you navigating through that. And I'm starting to notice the more that I do and the more that I put myself out there, the more that the acknowledgement of, oh, you are bold and you are capable and I'm seeing it in other people because they're telling me, they're expressing it, and I can see it by the way that they look at me, and it starts to remind me of who I really am. And so I definitely want to say that I appreciate everybody who shared anything with me, whether it's through text or phone call or face-to-face conversation or just a head nod. Like, it goes so far when you aren't sure of yourself. I feel like my voice is different. You know, from when we first started doing this. I don't have to dive into. I feel like when we first started doing this, it was more about like, let me just get all of this off of me. Like, let me just drop all of this off of me. And now it's more of like, I got it off. And I feel good. And I want to walk in that feeling and continue to progress in whatever it is that I want to do. And so I just think it's dope. I think that I know that I feel like Alpha.
That's what's up.
And it means so many different things to say Alpha. You know, like there was a while where I was even unsure of calling myself Alpha, and it was because I was afraid to be the artist that I know that I am. But I'm not scared of that anymore. And so I'm putting a greater expectation on my life and on myself, and I'm not afraid to do it anymore.
That's what's up.
You know, whereas before I would be really scared I would set goals and I would get like right to the goal and I'd be like, oh damn, I'm about to accomplish this, and I would kind of self-sabotage. But now I'm like running through stuff.
That's what's up, man.
And so, you know, I just want to say I appreciate you, because it's through the conversations that we were having before, when we would just get up and kind of just talk and go for walks and do certain stuff, that the idea for the podcast came, and it came from you. And so I had no idea that this is what was going to come out of it. And so I definitely want to say I appreciate you for having the idea, for following through with the idea. And we've had our ups and downs in doing this, rightfully so. And I think that there was a lot of growth in that too. You know what I'm saying? Like us being partners and having to accomplish things and do things together, and not always seeing eye to eye or whatever, but getting through it and making it work. So there's just a lot of growth that I can feel in it. I feel like I'm running, but
that's all good. I appreciate you too, man. Like this, you know, I really don't know what I expected to come out of this, or what will ever come out of this, but you know, just being able to share our journeys and to give it as authentic as we possibly can, wherever we at in our lives, you know, is very meaningful, because you know, I say, and I know I say this a lot, but I've tried so hard to be myself. So to now really look in the mirror and see myself as me, and like embrace that shit and accept that shit. Like I really do this because I want people to be able to do that for themselves. Like, you know, Yeah, this podcast connect to so many different people. Like, at first I thought it would connect to people being black. I thought it would connect to LGBT community, and it's like that shit spreads so much further than like any of this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you got older people, young people, black people, white people, whatever the fuck, telling you how it's impacting them just by simply being authentic, like that shit means everything.
Everything.
When last year I had to take a break from this shit because it was starting to get boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I didn't know what the fuck was going on with it. I didn't know where it was going, what it was doing. It was just like, okay, this shit is just becoming a drag.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people tell you how it's making them feel, it really gave me the drive to keep doing this shit. It's like, okay, I'm not doing this shit for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, some of the shit that people have told me about this podcast, there's no dollar amount that can be put on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just makes me want to keep going and keep going hard, and that's really all it is, man.
Yeah. It's really about I've come to a point in my life where I realize, like, as much as I do for me, I want to do way more for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to, and I've always been like that. I've always been more of a giver, and I think for a while I kind of got lost in, or I got upset.
Yeah.
Because my role as a giver was like, well, when am I going to receive something?
Yeah.
Like, when is somebody going to give me something? When is somebody going to reach out to me to give me, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I was always giving, always pouring, always doing this. And so I think for a while I kind of lost, I got angry.
Yeah.
With that. And through this podcast, and other things as well, but definitely this podcast, because I, for the times when we stop, I would be like, man, I kind of miss it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten that back. I've
That's
gotten that gift of giving back, of pouring out into other people, of investing into other people. But what I've learned is when and where to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't always pour. Like, sometimes you have to recharge, and that's why I took a break from both jobs for, you know what I'm saying, for a week, just to recharge and replenish. And I've learned so much in that time, and I've picked up things that I never thought I would do. You know what I'm saying? Like yoga, hanging out with James helped me realize, like, okay, yoga might be cool. Like, let me try it out. Like, the first time I ever did yoga was with you and James and NUK. Shout out NUK. Yeah. Out here in Long Beach. And so I've just learned so much from the different people that have come on and spoken with us, to just, living life day to day that I didn't necessarily think that I would get into.
That's what's up.
And so I definitely am thankful for that. And I continuously want to say how thankful I am for everybody who listens and everybody who has shared anything. Even going back to homecoming, like, it was dope. It wasn't my year, but it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to see and just to know, like, hey, like, the support is here. And, you know what I'm saying? It's always love. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to 2019. I think 2019 is going to be amazing. And not because it's the beginning of the year and there's resolutions and all of this other stuff. I just feel like if there was a new beginning, it came at the perfect time. Because my life is transitioning regardless. Yeah. And so the fact that it's a new year and there's new beginnings, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of worked out that way. But it was going to happen regardless. Like, because it's already the trajectory of where I'm going is, and how I feel, more how I feel is amazing.
And I think a new year is a good checkpoint, not even for the resolutions and none of that shit. It's just like, you have this actual date that is a placeholder. So you do 365 days from this date to the next one. You're able to look at everything you did within that time. I don't ever take a new year as like a, this is a time for me to change.
Right.
Like, I'm constantly changing in real time. So, but I do like New Year's. I like the feeling of the freshness that it gives everybody, because it's like, when people get that energy and they give it to me, it just pushes me and I'm able to give it back. You know, so I like New Year's.
I feel it. I feel it. I like life,
I feel that.
and it, it's been a while since I've been able to say that.
That's what's up.
Like, there's nothing. Not to say that life isn't hard. Not to say that there aren't difficulties. Not to say that there aren't things that I stress about at times. But I can't sit here and complain about any part of my life right now.
That's a blessing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do I have all the money in the world? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Do I live in the biggest, most Nah. But I'm happy, and the people around me are happy.
That's what's
and
up.
that's way more than I could ever ask for. It's for the people around me and for myself to all be happy and progressing. Like, I see so many people like walking in their passions and their purpose, and I see so many people doing it, and it's so amazing to see, and it's so motivating to see. I'm happy, man, and I can see other people are happy too.
That's what's up.
And so I know in years past, it hasn't always been that way. But I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the happiness and the ups and the downs. And there was one episode when you mentioned choosing your mood and choosing your energy and how you're gonna take things in. And that's just where I'm at with it, man. So I'm fortunate. I can
That's
say
what's
that.
up.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be good. You got anything else, brother?
Nah, that's it for me, man.
Yeah, I think that's all too. Where can the people find you at, bro?
You could find me at Just Mike Brown on Facebook, Instagram, just_Mike Brown on Twitter, primomiguel.com for all music, beats, everything. Just Mike Beats. If you're looking for music, or if you're looking for the music that's within this podcast, it's free, but with the cost. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Alpha_presents, ALFPHA presents. Alpha stands for A Life Fulfilled Praising Him, Amen. I get a lot of people asking me why there's an F in there. So yeah, A Life Fulfilled Praising Him, Amen is why I chose Alpha. But it's an acronym for it anyways. You can find us on the Art of Letting Go podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Play, right? And just look forward to a lot more from the both of us this year. Shout out to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful 2019. I hope that if your year hasn't started off the way that you wanted to, that you make it whatever it is that you want to make it, because that's really what it's about. Make whatever you want to happen. It's possible, but you have to make it happen.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all for listening. This is Mike Brown.
This is Alpha.
And this is The Art of Letting Go.
Letting go. Letting go. Oh, 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 oh. Byron, that was for you, bro. Holla at me. Peace.